Hey everybody, welcome to the newest podcast. We got Yoel here with us from Koyobi Gaming, who is a fighting game expert, along with myself, Pathfinder, and your co-host, Josh Richardson, aka CLT Shade. So, welcome everybody. We're just talking
What's up, everyone?
about, yeah,
Hey,
we're just talking about venues right now at the beginning
yep,
here.
the fun stuff. The this is the planning side. See, everyone talks like, they want to get into esports and stuff, and then it's like they know nothing about what really goes into it, like when you first start.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than just like, okay, I'm gonna host a tournament, and then like, yeah, it's like marketing. You have to plan
Yeah,
tons of stuff. You have to know certain people. How are you gonna come up with the money to run the event, stuff like that. I mean, like, I'll put it this way. I don't know if I would have gotten into doing this way if knowing what I know now, how much it takes to get into it back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you looked at it,
You
yeah,
had no
no,
clue what you were signing up for,
definitely.
really. You just love
yeah,
esports.
just so it's like one of those things where it's a good and bad thing. It was really good that I did it. It was bad because I probably should have done more research into it. But you know what? I
Yeah.
jumped in full. I just jumped in and learned as I went, and it's gone good for. How was it for you? I mean, I'm sure you guys probably it was close to the similar thing,
Whew.
right?
Just give us the whole story too. Like, give us the
Oh,
start and what
man.
happened, where you came from, what you're trying to do, and all
Um,
the stuff.
well, it's been a learning experience for sure. It still kind of is. Like, when we first started out, we originally just wanted to be like vendors and like just sell like t-shirts that were akin to like fighting games and stuff like that. So we were originally just going to start out doing that, but then some of our local fighting game scenes started to like disappear. Like Reese, the guys they had families then, so they couldn't really dedicate as much time to do their monthly tournaments. And the same thing with another tournament organization called Frame Zero Gaming. So basically, we were like, all right, well, we've got some of our equipment, which is all of our personal equipment, like literally. And we were like, yeah, let's try to like start doing a monthly. And then we started doing events at like Holiday Inn, um, and Great Wolf Lodge, and now we're at Hot Shots every Monday. So that's pretty much how it started. But we had to talk to a lot of people too, and we're still building up our equipment now, which is something we should have done way before. But we're getting to a point where we're building like a pretty good inventory to where we don't have to worry about using our stuff as much, but we still kind of have to now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
um,
good. Yeah, there's like it's like four or five of you guys that like pretty much run Kobe, right?
hmm
I know that whose mom is it that owns it? Whose is that?
Oh, that's Sterling's mom,
She's
Angela.
super nice lady, by the way. Like when I met her at our Call of Duty event when you guys came out there to support, that man, she was just great. I love talking to her. I could have talked to her all day. Yeah, so it was really neat, like hearing her side and seeing like, how you guys came up and stuff. And in the fighting game community, people don't, I guess, more on like a national scale. People don't realize Charlotte has a really good fighting game community.
It's huge.
Um,
It's
yeah,
really big, especially
exactly.
Smash.
Yeah, and it's like we have a lot of talent here in the area. Just from like even though I can't make it to like barely any of those hotshot events, dude. I watch every single post you make about it because, like you said, like I told you, we would like to look into the Smith. So I'm always looking for like the winners and like kind of follow it each week and stuff. And just looking at like the amount of people that come out and like where they finish at and stuff, like we have some really good like competition here. I feel
Yeah,
like
we do.
just like outstanding players. So, I don't know what that it looks like as far as like nationwide because, you know, like any other game, it's certain games have certain demographics that play or certain players. Like, I'm pretty sure like a diehard Tekken fan isn't going to be playing Soul Calibur or vice versa. They're going to like really learn their game and just keep doing it and keep studying opponents. Because CJ, what I learned in the fighting game community is a lot of times these guys will watch their competition and they'll like memorize their like fight patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when they fight them, yeah, it's like it's insane. It's like That's why I don't do fighting games because I can't memorize stuff like that. But like, it's I heard that, and then CJ linked us that. What was that video, CJ, that you linked? The fighting game one.
Remember? I just remember
You don't.
I showed up to a tournament once and played Mortal Kombat 11 like right after it came out, and some dude I didn't even get a chance to swing at him. Like, and I don't play fighting games at all, but like he did not give me an
Oh,
opportunity to do anything against him, and it was like really frustrating. So.
Yeah, there was that video CJ linked us, and it was about esports, specifically like fighting game, and it followed three people, and it was like,
Oh, that Canadian one. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. Where it was like following these different people throughout the FGC. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I'll have to send you the link.
I
It's
forget what
really
it's
neat, man.
called. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, some of
it
those FGC documentaries are really, really good and
Yeah.
insightful.
but
I've watched a few myself.
it's crazy though because I watched that and I'm like, man, that's already being done here in Charlotte. Like the stuff that they're doing is already happened or happening in Charlotte. So
Yeah.
it's like we're like you people don't realize that Charlotte is like pretty far ahead of like other fighting game communities. We just don't have the publicity here in Charlotte for it yet. Is really what I feel it is.
Yeah.
Like that's where I've tried to help you out with finding venues or getting you connected with the right people and stuff like that. To basically try and help push, you know, all of esports in the direction it needs to go in Charlotte. That's our end goal. I mean, we want esports to happen here no matter what it is. I mean,
Right.
that's I think everyone's on the same page of that. I mean, even Michael, shout out to Michael, Potion and Pixels. Like he's more like casual gaming and stuff, but he also sees like the benefit of esports. Me and him have talked about it many times before, like, all the different ways and stuff it can go. And I haven't had a chance to play his new board game yet, so I don't. But I do want to try
Sure,
that.
man, they're fun.
Everyone keeps saying that. CJ, didn't you go with Sarah to the board game night?
Yeah, I've been to a couple Potions and Pixels. I love those. Like, we're board game people, so like I love going to Potions and Pixels and just playing board games over there.
CJ, what was that game that we played? Was it the UFO game we played at Potions and Pixels? It was like 3 or 4 months ago. It was a while back. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that weird game where you had to like the kid and the alien were working together to do like something where you had to like pass
yeah, and
items through
the
and like
agents. We
and
had
it
to
was
stop the kid or
the
the
goal of the
alien.
game was like it had the item had to be a specific category of something where there was like it has metal in it or whatever that some random player made up. It was a really dumb game, honestly.
Made it fun though. We made it fun.
We did, yeah.
I feel like that would be like me with like there's only so I don't really do board games. Like I'll do Monopoly, like the basic ones, but like I don't go into like the super like detailed ones. It's never been my thing. So
Sure.
I feel like if I went, I'd probably like play like one game and then I would just go around and just talk to people because like I wouldn't be playing anything. So
It's a lot of chatting. Like I like it because there's a community there, and I think that's like in all of our events. That's why like LANs are cool, and whether it's FGC or like a shooter or whatever, like it's all about the community of people you get to be around and the experience of hanging out
Yeah,
with like-minded people.
exactly. Because like
yeah,
even at Hot Shots, like even though like everyone else is playing games, I usually won't play. I'll usually just be around like talking with everybody and just like catching up and
yeah.
just talking about like the latest thing or the latest meme or something like that. But yeah, like the community aspect I think in this area is also like really, really strong with like board games, video games, and like yeah, a lot of different things involving media. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, we've so just so if anyone, out there watching, so Koyobi and us, we've tried to do stuff with them. We usually see these guys out at, these conventions. We run in I ran into you a couple times at different
Yeah.
ones. So we always try to like work together, and that's pretty much Charlotte in general esports. We all try to work together to make something happen, in whatever way we can. There's other entities in Charlotte that work with us that, try to make things happen, and it's coming. It's definitely happening. I just wish it was faster, but it's happening, which is the good thing. As long as we can keep this momentum going, we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are like
Oops.
the goals for like the short term here at Koyobi? Like what kind of things do you guys have going on in the next couple months here?
So, let's see. Well, I know this Friday we have the Valkyries, which is a game night for women in the Charlotte community.
Okay.
But this one is specifically a PlayStation night. We did a Nintendo night the month before. We're doing a PlayStation one this time, so we're gonna have like classic PlayStation games as well as like Crash Team Racing and like Borderlands and some games of that nature. But other than that, we're gonna be doing an event with Cabarrus Brewing Company. Actually, two of them.
That was right down the road from my house too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. You should come out. So we've got that coming up in September 8th, and then we got another one, the same location on September 26th. And then I think in November, I kind of skipped a month, but in November, I think 4 of us or a couple of us are going to GalaxyCon in Mississippi or Missouri.
Oh, you guys are going out there?
Yeah, yeah, we actually
What?
got invited out there by a Carolina Game Summit
Okay.
because we were there at GalaxyCon in Raleigh and we did a good job, so they want to kind of like help us get out to the next one to help out
Sure.
or like fighting game side of things.
Oh, don't worry, Michael will. If you say you want to help, he will. He's gonna grab you.
Yeah, Michael's great. Michael's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. You remember when you were at that meeting, right? When I first got Michael to come to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of like all of us kind of getting to that next level of like supporting the bigger conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to see where everyone's going from that,
Yeah.
because I know XRVR was there and they pretty much go to everything that Carolina Game Summit is on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and then I know you guys go to everything that you guys can support, and I know we go. If it's not too far away, we go and we run tournaments for them too.
Yeah.
We did Seymour
So-
Johnson. I didn't see you there. I saw 2 of your boys there though.
Yeah, that was the same day as our Monday Madness finals, which our next one is on October 19th.
Okay.
But we'll be revealing the location of that within the next 2 weeks.
Ooh, secrets.
Hey, real quick, in the background, is that a True Gaming cup right over there?
Yeah, actually, that's where I keep all my business cards for like.
I saw it.
Actually,
I saw it.
I'm gonna grab that real quick. Yeah,
It's
so
actually-
I have you guys in here. I have Potions and Pixels, Laser Girl, Barton College. Like
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much everyone in here.
I tell you what, man, True Gaming, that's someone who we need to probably utilize more as a esports community as a whole, because they're in Cary and they have their own area that's set up there. We can come in and stream and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, man.
We had started
Yeah.
talking about doing stuff, but we kind of fell off it just because we've gotten so busy. But I mean, I feel like they'd be such a good partner as far as, if we had big events to have them come out and run the stream, because you saw how it was at Playthrough.
Oh
with
yeah, they
their
have the whole. That freaking rig was beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we do big events, we have them come out, handle the stream and stuff. Man, we'd be set. They really had some crazy gear there. That computer was $10,000. That one tower.
Kidding?
Sheesh.
That's nuts,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was if I had a $10,000 computer, man. My goodness, I'd be.
That thing would never leave my house.
I would have
Like,
sold it, bought it $2,000, and then paid
had
the
that
car
thing
off
on
or
lock.
something.
Yeah, I would have, dude. That's what I would have done. I would have sold it. I would have bought a $2,000 computer, like you said, but then I would have bought like car parts, man. Because I've got the fever right now again, dude. It's like I got my Honda back up and running, and now all I want to do is just buy stuff for it. I'm like, oh, it needs this, it needs that, it needs that, and I'm like, well, kind of on a budget, so I can't really do that. But if I did have money,
What if I did?
I've gotten really bad about watching these videos on YouTube where people buy these salvage cars, like these wrecked like Lamborghinis or Ferraris and stuff, and then they fix them up, and I'm like, they make it look so easy. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this and bend the frame back, and no big deal. Let's take apart the motor. Like, I could probably take it apart, but I would have no clue how to put things back together.
It'd be like, now what?
Yeah.
Not this far.
Speaking of cars and stuff, what do you see like the future of like racing games and stuff? Because I've been seeing more about that too, sim racing and stuff like that. Do you think that's going to ever really be a thing?
I don't know, man. There isn't really there is support for it, but it's in like these really small areas, or at least like Not a lot of places in the U.S. at least. Like I know we support like the arcade racers, but in terms of like games like MotoGP or like Gran Turismo, like I have no idea.
Yeah, I
That would
think
be
that's
more of a
in Europe.
question for
Kenny.
my friend Kenny, yeah, who
Yeah.
does a lot of those online racing tournaments now. That is like a bit more free time.
Well,
But
Kenny, if you're watching this, can you comment and let us know if it's a thing? Because like I actually I love playing those racing games. Like when you actually play Gran Turismo, it's fun. But the problem is, it's like there's no real following here in the two. There's not a huge following here in the States. There are some people, like there's some people, but I feel like over in Europe, it's probably a lot
yeah,
bigger.
I feel like in Europe it's probably a lot bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I
he
don't
was
know.
thinking he actually wants to do a racing circuit at some point. He wants to collab with me and one other guy named Nick, who's actually come to our sessions and brought like racing games along with like the actual steering wheel with like the gas pedal and everything.
Oh
He
yeah.
wants to get something started. We just have to figure out how to go about it and like what the who the demographic is, and how it's going to keep like evolving and
Yeah.
growing.
I really so I don't know what your like was it always when you started with the FGC stuff like super small and then you had to like grow upon your audience, or did they just all pretty much come out to you and just explode? Because I'm only curious because like I wonder what that looks like from the racing scene, like if they have to start from the ground, or if there's already like a diehard group of people that kind of exist.
Yeah, we pretty much started from like kind of like ground zero. Like we had very little,
Uh-huh.
and then we went to like a couple of venues and started doing stuff. Really, the thing that got us to where we are now was the sessions that we do at Hot Shots, the weekly sessions.
Okay.
Because before we were just talking about doing like seasonals, but now we have something that people can constantly go to, and like word gets out, and more people bring more of their friends out,
Mm.
like more people share the event, more people talk about it, and so it's just been kind of like a slow grind,
Mhm.
but it's been growing steadily. Like it went from being like maybe like 20 to 25 people a night to like consistently 40 to like 50, but that's been over the course of like 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and
Are they,
also doing other events besides the weekly thing.
sure. Are they mostly players, or do they also like just like friends that want to come drink and hang out while the other players play?
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
Some people travel all the way from like Greensboro sometimes to come out there.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like some guys come from like Monroe. We've had people come from Salisbury too. One guy drove all the way from like South Carolina. We were like, "Whoa, you didn't have to come all the way down here for this. It's a weekly."
Yeah.
I mean, but he won.
Are
So,
those cash prizes? Or what do you do?
um, we do like $10 like PSN gift cards because it is a weekly session and it is in a bar. So a lot of the
Yeah.
tournaments are free entry. So we
Yeah.
just give away like a $10 gift card, and
Okay.
usually the people are okay with it. We want to give away like bigger prizes, of course. We're actually kind of working on that for the next circuit, like next year.
Sure.
Which I can't really talk about at the moment because like those details still aren't finalized. But I'm really hoping after this one, like the circuit like grows like exponentially.
Sure.
I would like to talk to you guys about that like on a separate too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Talk.
Hey,
I'd like your guys' help. That would be
any potential sponsors watching this, get at us.
Because
Good
I
idea
think
right here.
I think that's what the future is for all of us. Because like the more and more tournaments me and Josh run that are like Rocket League or League of Legends or whatever, like the venues are like I think that we can deck them all out and make them an advertisement ploy, and then pull prize pools from that. Like, hey, this one event is $1,000 and it's once a month or whatever, and this one sponsor just sponsors it all the time, and that brings all the people from like all the way in North Carolina, South Carolina, a little bit of Virginia every week to this one event or whatever.
Yeah.
Or every weekend, every Saturday or whatever it might be. I don't know.
Like my inspiration for the circuit was kind of a tournament that they do in New York called NLBC, which is the Next Level Battle Circuit. And even when there's like a major event going on like up north, like some of the guys will just stop by and like play in that tournament for that week. And these are like people traveling from like Florida or from North Carolina or from Atlanta, and they'll just stop by that night in New York, play, and if win or lose, then they'll just head to the major like the next day because like NLBC just has that kind of reputation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it. We got lucky because of how good our Call of Duty tournament first one was, we pretty much every other organizer in the Call of Duty scene learned of us through that, and so like it was almost like a slap in the face. CJ, I know you saw it, that meme where it was like, if you had to sit at one of these tables, who'd you sit with, and it had like 1 through 5 of like all these organizers, and we were left off it, and people started commenting, and because there's only table 1 through 5, and people were like, table 6 CLT Esports,
Yeah.
and like a lot of people started adding that. That made me feel good, because like, oh man, the community, they're putting us up there, so it felt good, you know.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, like, because I'm on Twitter more often now, so like I see people tweeting about your guys' event that's coming up in September, like all
Oh
this.
jeez, if you could only see like how fast my phone dies from all those tweets. It's funny too. It's me and CJ that run it, right? That answer like the DMs and stuff. So like it's DM after DM after DM after, and it's like usually him taking, because for the most part he's the Call of Duty guy. He knows all of the rules and stuff. So like I try not to touch it. But if it's like a DM that it's kind of like a generic question, and I try to take that. So it's actually both of us running it, but most of the time, like Call of Duty people, I just let CJ handle it. It's actually almost at the event too. Like people didn't even know who I was. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the other owner. I just don't. I was like, I don't chime in with anything Call of Duty, because like I don't want to look dumb like trying to talk about a game I don't know well. So, but it's good, man. I tell you what, the Call of Duty scene is alive and well on the East Coast. That's for sure. I don't know how it's looking, because it's going to a franchise model. Me and CJ have talked a lot. I think a lot of organizers are kind of just waiting to see what happens when it goes franchise, because it could kill the amateur scene, but it also couldn't. We found out that we've gotten big enough that the Blizzard has emailed us now and wants us. We have to submit our stuff to them. For tournaments.
It's super annoying. You don't want it.
Exactly. So like we've passed that threshold now where it's like, when we do these tournaments, we have to submit, and if it's going to franchise model, like, who knows, maybe these restrictions can be more and more, and it's going to deter like most people from trying to do like tournaments that are decent size. Yeah. At least that's what I look at. He's much more optimistic about this than I am. I'm not a fan of like the big companies coming in and telling you how to run your tournaments. Like I hate that.
It's just annoying. Like the biggest thing is like we have to buy metal detector wands so that we can wand the kids and check their bags when they come into the event. Make sure they don't have guns.
Security, and they have to be 18 or older to be by themselves, or they have to be accompanied by adult if they're not 18 or older.
It's
and
just
it's like
safety stuff is all it is.
Regulations.
Yeah. Does FGC have like? Is anything franchised for FGC? I don't think anything is.
I don't think so. A lot of the FGC started out with like grassroots.
Yeah.
And it's mostly still like that. Now that might change in like, in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because I could totally see Smash being franchised. Like, I don't think that's that far off, honestly.
Well, it's a weird thing with Smash because Nintendo, like, unlike Capcom Pro Tour, that like Capcom fully supports their game, and like Tekken fully supports their game with the Tekken World Tour. Nintendo doesn't really do that sort of thing. Like, yeah, they have the online open, but for the most part, the thing that carries Smash is that grassroots scene, and they get their own sponsors, like besides Nintendo, like Gaming Generation and like the thousands of other sponsors that they get. Like Boot Camp. So like, I feel like if anything, probably like maybe games like Street Fighter are probably a lot closer to being franchised, even though it's still probably kind of far off because it's all grassroots, and those games aren't even like that big in the esports scene right now. Those still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I guess like you said, going back to the whole Fortnite thing, it's kind of like Fortnite. It's just such a huge game. Epic does big tournaments, but as far as other than doing big tournaments, I mean, that's all they really care about, which is fine, that's their thing. But like Nintendo, like I know they have pretty much said they're not really interested in getting into esports right now, from what I remember. Like was it Splatoon was like the closest thing to an esport,
pretty much,
and they don't put any money behind that. I mean, I get it, like they're a certain type of game, publisher, and they don't want to get past that, like, where they're at. That may change in the future as like the leadership changes in the company, but I don't know. I wish that there not so much a franchise model, but I wish that there was more of a push for the FGC to become a part of the bigger esports crowd, like bigger prize pools, non-endemic sponsors, superstar names being pushed to the top, like stuff like that you see already in our esports happening. I wish that would. It's starting to happen at a smaller scale. Obviously, Evo was like a huge eye opener for a lot of people, so more sponsors will be coming because of that. But the FGC still has got a lot of growth to go through, and then you're going to run into the people that don't want it to get big. A lot of these grassroots guys are like, we like it the way it is. There's no need to get it any bigger.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing thing for the past like 3 years, pretty much ever since Street Fighter V came out, because that's when the esports push really started for fighting games, is around like early 2016, and it's grown since then. But yeah, I forgot what I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about the people that wanted to stay grassroots. They don't want it to go major brand, non-endemic, stuff like that. They want it to stay small, so that way it's their thing. They don't. I've read a lot about that though. That's a very big divide in the FGC community as far as where it's going to go. Like, people want it to get to the next level, but there's also people that don't want it to go any bigger. They want it to stay within their like grassroots type movement.
Yeah,
I get it from both sides.
Smash is like that too a lot. Like they're completely okay with it not going esports. Like, the general consensus of the community is they've got so many people and so many other sponsors that they can look to that they don't necessarily like need Nintendo. But if they wanted to, Nintendo could back the hell out of that game.
Definitely.
Or really any of their games. And it's even weirder when they patch games like Super Smash Brothers, like specific balance patches for characters. So they're definitely paying attention to like what's going on in the competitive scene, but they're just not fully supporting their game and the esports like angle. So
what would you feel, dude? This would be a great one, right? So get this. This is a game I'm gonna pitch, an esports Pokemon themed game. What? There we go, dude. It will be like a fighting game, not like Smash Brothers, but like, you remember the old like
Pokemon Stadium, dude.
Yeah, make that just an esport.
Dude,
Bring
Pokemon
that back.
Stadium, but like renewed or whatever.
Oh my god, that would be interesting. I'd like to see. There is a competitive scene for Pokemon, but even that one's still kind of like under the radar.
Yeah, dude. That's because like the competitive scene in Pokemon.
The card game, you mean?
No, I mean like the actual like
game.
Handheld game.
Yeah.
Like silver, gold.
Is it like speedrunning or what?
No, it's like the competitive
like you connect to your game.
Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha.
The IV training. And
yeah. Okay.
One of my other Koyobi colleagues or my team members knows a lot about that too. We actually, when X and Y first came out, we were trying to get big into it, but like, gosh, there's so much you have to remember. There's so many matchups, and things can go wrong really fast in Pokemon.
Yeah, it can.
Really?
Trust me. I know all about that, man. Trying to catch that Mewtwo back when I had Pokemon Blue as a kid, that was rough. If you didn't if you didn't have the Master Ball, good luck.
Yeah,
if you wasted your Master Ball on anything but Mewtwo, good luck, my friend. Like, I remember it.
Might as well turn off the game.
Hey, that's when I went to my local. It wasn't GameStop back then. What was it called then? It wasn't Games. It was Game something.
Funkoland?
No. Before GameStop, there was Game something.
Spot.
GameSpot.
Yeah.
It was GameSpot. Mm-hmm. And there's one here in Salisbury, because I grew up in Salisbury. I was born in Charlotte, but grew up in Salisbury. So I would go to the GameSpot, and I went and got a Game Shark for my Game Boy.
Oh, me too. Yes, I remember.
I'm done messing around with this Mewtwo guy. I'm putting in cheat codes. I had Mews, I had Mewtwo's, I had Missing Nose, because they weren't even real Pokemon. Missing Number was just that glitch Pokemon. But you know what? I didn't care because it could do anything. So.
Yep.
Did you guys ever play Pokemon Yellow and then unlock Surfing Pikachu? And you could play the surfing mini game inside that?
Yeah.
Dude, that game was so much fun. Like that little surfing Pikachu game, like that was legit fun. Like I would spend time just playing that. I think I spent the most time in Pokemon playing in the Safari Zone because like I felt like there was just some crazy Pokemon in there. And then I spent a lot of time. What's the name of the town where Cubone's bomb is? Marowak. What's the name of that town?
Lavender Town.
Yes, I spent a lot of time because I wanted a Gengar really bad. I love Gengar. He's like
Oh
one of my
my
favorites.
gosh. The fact that you guys can remember this is amazing me.
Dude, I remember the soundtracks, man. What are you talking about? Pokemon was my life. I had the cards. I had the trading card game manual to make sure I had the right ones. I had the Pokemon game manual also that I like carried around like a Bible basically.
Oh
And to
man.
read that in class, dude. I was that guy.
That's crazy.
Like
I still have one of those books. It's like it's the characters and the Pokemon are drawn in like the style of the show.
yes.
But it has all the information about all the moves that they can learn in the game and when exactly they evolve. Actually, when I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I look at that thing like every now and again because I need to remember like where exactly I need to go and what Pokemon I need to get.
Dude, such a great man.
Yeah, Yellow version is my favorite.
Yellow, was it yellow, blue, and red, man? Those were I don't care what anyone says, the first gen Pokemon, that release was it, man. That was the golden years of Pokemon.
Yeah.
yeah.
And now second gen is like, I started getting out of it. And third gen, I was like, man, this is ridiculous now. Like, they're literally making Pokemon out of cotton balls. Like, this isn't even a thing. So, like, and then when let's see, when Super Smash first came out, I remember the commercial because they did the remade was the Beatles song, and they tailored it to Smash Bros. And it was those people dressed up in those costumes.
Yeah,
like
it was
Pikachu
Mario,
and stuff.
Donkey Kong, Pikachu, and Yoshi, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
best ad ever, and that got me into it. And that was, let's see, the games I was playing. I had an N64. I had gotten Smash. I spent a lot of time in Smash Bros. And I was a NES player. NES was my main. He's been my main for every single. I'm not one of those guys that's like flavor of the month. I've stuck with NES since day one. So if anyone wants to say anything, like it's been day one, guys. But it was Super Smash Brothers. CJ, did you have an N64?
Yeah, I played Smash. I played Fox. I was a Fox killer.
Oh yeah, man, that was a
You
fun
guys
game.
had good character choices.
Yeah.
64 is still like competitively played, which is
Really?
insane because that game is so janky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It has the best sound effects. It has the best sound effects in any Smash game.
let's see. That was also 64. Also had some really great games. GoldenEye was a big
Oh
one.
yeah.
That was like the first multiplayer FPS game.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I played a lot of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, who didn't?
Man, I loved Ocarina of Time. I spent so many hours fishing or making up songs on my, little ocarina. Just doing like the little stuff in the games. Like I also had the guide for that. So like I wanted to do everything. Let's see what I think it was Zelda, Smash Brothers. How can I forget, man? Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie.
I was gonna say that. I was like, I was gonna say I'm kind of the weird kid. I played like a lot of Banjo Kazooie. Like,
Dude,
too much for that game.
Do you remember the mini game in Banjo-Kazooie? Was it Banjo 2? I think it was Banjo-Kazooie where you used the bird as a gun.
Oh yeah, that was Tooie. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a multiplayer thing where you actually had like you
was
played
FPS.
holding a bird.
It was an
That was
FPS.
Yeah, it was FPS exactly.
And you shot eggs and like you literally it was that game was so much fun, man. I can't tell you how many times like gosh, man. Oof. I spent a lot of times trying to catch those little things. What are they called?
The Jinjos?
Yes, that was like my thing, man. Like I was like on the hunt for them. I played that. I played a lot of Diddy Kong Racing. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I
never beat WizPig. I never.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, dude, that game was hard. Like, that was like, so you guys played all these other games. I only played Diddy Kong Racing, and I beat every single race to the fullest, and it was hard to do that. Yeah.
Dude, that low-key,
the last levels.
Yeah.
low-key, that game was like one of the best games ever.
It was hard.
Like, no one talks about it. Everyone's like Mario Kart, and everyone played Mario Kart. But dude, Diddy Kong Racing was where the OGs were, because
Oh
you could
yeah.
do three. You could fly,
Yep.
you could drive, you could be in a boat or whatever.
Hover,
Yeah,
cart. Yeah,
hover. Yep.
yeah.
The dang hovercraft. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yo, me and Charles went to a Abari here in Charlotte and played Diddy Kong Racing on the old. And like,
Oh, word?
yeah, if you play it, like the graphics are awful. They're
Yeah, yeah.
so bad. You didn't, like at the time I was like, "Oh, I remember being so clear and crisp." And I was like, "Nope, it was not."
Well, that was when you think about like games like that, that's the reason why I don't go back and play those games, because I know how bad the graphics will look.
Yeah.
There was Wave Runner 64.
Oh, I
I know
played
you
Rave
guys.
Runner too. Yeah.
That was a great one. I also played this Rally Sports 64, something like that. But the great thing about that game was it was a rally game, but you could customize your own cars. Like you could paint them, whatever you had. Like it was like you're in Microsoft Paint and you had your car and you could just like do whatever. So that
Oh,
game was,
snap.
yeah, that was like my first custom. That got me into like customizing stuff, and I think that's how I got into MMOs, because I wanted it to be
Okay.
tailored to me.
The
And I was
gateway game.
it was, man. But like that was like my childhood, man. And then PlayStation, obviously I got a PlayStation when that came out, and that talk about just like eye-opening games,
Grand
man.
Theft Auto, huh?
Yes, I think everyone played that. Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto,
3, Grand Theft Auto 3, yeah. Spy
so
Hunter? You ever play Spy Hunter?
no, but I played Spyro.
Oh,
That
I
game
played Spyro the Dragon, yeah, of course.
was it Spyro was for PlayStation, right? That because
Yeah,
that
the first three were for PlayStation, yeah.
Yep, I played a lot of that game. And then there was, gosh, man, Dragon Ball Z. So I figured out a way, and I don't know how we figured it out, but we had a disc from Japan. It was a Dragon Ball Z game, and it was in Japanese. And you couldn't play it on our PlayStation, but I found out how you do it. You have to like put a paper clip in the part that, like, when you close the lid, there's like a thing that sticks out. And when it presses down the button to make the PlayStation think the lid's closed. Well, if you put a paper clip and jam it in there, it thinks the lid's closed, and you can put a PlayStation American game in there to start the disc down, to start the loading process. When the screen goes black, you switch the disc back out to the Dragon Ball Z game. It reads that, and then you switch the disc one more time to the original game, and you switch it back, and it actually will play the game. And so I was playing the original Japanese Dragon Ball Z game before Budokai, before all that stuff came out. I was playing like what they had in Japan, and
Oh.
yeah. So like I was already playing Majin Buu, the Cell. I mean, I was playing Cell, like all that, like because Japan, when it comes to that stuff, they get everything way before us, like way before us. So like I was a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, dude.
Yeah.
Like is Dragon Ball at that point in my life, I switched from N64 being that good little kid playing N64 to playing Dragon Ball Z illegally on my PlayStation while listening to Eminem and thinking I was something. That's for sure. Oh no, that was.
Now you're here, and now you're here.
Now you're here in Charlotte, running an esports org.
Hey man, if that's what it takes. But dude, that was. I don't know if you guys like have vivid memories of like certain games, but I do. There's certain games I remember playing that were like fun times in my life. Like the people I played with, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mario Party will always be one of
Oh.
Why didn't I say that?
Oh Mario Party 1 because you actually lost coins for losing mini games, and I thought that was great.
Yep.
They never did it again.
Yep.
Loser.
I feel like Mario Party is like the wave when it comes to like community games. So like when we talk about like putting everybody together in a room to play some of these games, like I think Mario Party has like a really special place. And like if you you created an esports event where it had FGC and then some other shooter games and maybe a League of Legends tournament and Rocket League or whatever, and then you have like Mario Party and whatever like random other party game you want to play. Like Jackbox TV is another really good example of that. Like
oh, dude. We have, so if you haven't ever done this, you'll tune into our guy Aaron, right? He does Jackbox games, and what it is you can hop in the games with him and play it like on a stream, and it is the funniest thing ever. Like it's a really I'll link it to you when he's going live. And dude, I have a blast just watching him. I almost fell on my chair laughing so hard. Yeah, like it was.
It's hilarious.
I think CJ, you know what I was talking about. It was right when we got back from GexCon, and Aaron did his stream and had that going, and like it's fun, man. And I think you're right, CJ. I think that if we can focus around on the community aspect and bringing everyone together, kind of like what we've already been focusing on, but really push it to kind of span all games. I mean, people would have fun going to that, and they'd want
Yeah.
to come back to that.
That's what you should do for Hot Shots, man. Like you should just like I think that's the idea of like how like Clash
Mhm.
Royale, like one of the mobile games, you make a section for that and you make a section for things and you kind of just try out different games on your event every week and then you see who shows up, right? And I bet one of those has a huge audience that exists that we just don't know about because we haven't invited them out, really.
Yeah. Like that's what we're trying to do because we're trying to do that at the other breweries that we're currently doing events with now
Yeah.
because like Hot Shots is more of like an FGC place, but with everything else like with these breweries, we're trying more casual gaming events. So
Yeah.
we're
If you
definitely
do,
looking to doing like more like Mario Party and like things of that nature.
if you do it at Cabarrus, I mean, you can pretty much count all of Charlotte Esports being there because we will all be there if it's at a brewery and it's that game. And like, say you have also Mario Kart or something.
Yeah, I would play Mario Kart, like Mario Kart. Like I would do like $5 races or whatever. Like put $5 down
Or-
and like winner gets the $5 or whatever.
Like, yeah, that would be, dude.
That's
That'd be
actually
so
a
much
great
fun.
idea.
Yeah, let me I didn't
We'll
get a
talk
chance to
offline
talk
about that one.
Yeah. Well, about the games that we're gonna feature there.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Kart 8 is one of them.
Cool.
We're also gonna have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're gonna have what was the other one? Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So that'll be good for like co-op. And then we're gonna have the SNES Classic Edition. And there's one more, Speedrunners on PS4. And then we might have a Sega Dreamcast there set up. We're trying to find one.
That's old school. Dang.
So we'll have like Power Stone and some of those like old school games on there. Maybe some Crazy Taxi. But yeah.
Oh, Crazy Taxi. I feel like I'm in an arcade right now.
Crazy Taxi was great.
Dude, I think David Buster should just turn into an esports arena. Like just
They
drop
want
all
to.
their stupid
Trust me, they
stuff
want to.
and then just
Well-
put PlayStations or whatever in there.
From what I talked to the manager, he definitely wants to get doing more esports events at there. And they're, dude, CJ, when I tell you they are way cheaper than any place.
Oh
we've-
yeah.
They are way
Yeah.
cheaper than any of the venues, and they have just as much space.
Yeah, that's because they're losing business. They're not getting anybody in there. It's just for food. You know what I mean? Like,
That's why they want esports there.
I
But they're
bet.
not. I don't think that guy would jack the prices up. I think they're pretty much set.
Yeah, their prices are set from what I saw. Like for a 9-hour event like the one that we did, or was it 8-hour? 8-hour event, it was only like 600. So
Yeah.
that's pretty reasonable, and that's cheaper than some of the hotel spaces we got that were way smaller than that, which is like ridiculous.
And you
Yeah.
don't have all the other stuff either at those hotels. Like Dave and Buster's has the bowling alley in that one. It has the arcade. It has a
Yeah.
restaurant, bar. I mean, you get everything, and you're in the mall too. So like,
Yeah,
you don't
so
have,
if like you get bored like sitting there like waiting for your match, you can like go out into the mall and chill and hang out.
dang.
So
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea for another tournament. I
um,
feel like what happens is like we get pulled all these different directions because like everyone wants us to run a tournament at that location because they want the bodies to show up, right? So it's
Mhm.
like even paying a venue fee at this point it seems really silly to me because like honestly like venues should pay us for people to get people to show up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do most times.
mhm.
yeah,
So, like
agree.
I feel like the model's gonna shift a little bit for us because of that.
Speaking of shifting, my power on my battery is about to die, and there's no outlet where I'm sitting at.
Well, do the read for our sponsor then, real quick.
Yep. So big shout out to My Computer Career. If you guys didn't know, I'm a graduate from My Computer Career. I took the free online evaluation. I didn't realize at the time like it doesn't like it. When you take that online evaluation, it's like you have someone grading you. They're really just trying to see where you're at, so that way they can tailor your schedule to that and kind of like help you out. But definitely go online, take it. Go to mycomputercareer.edu. They'll have someone reach out to you. They're super friendly people. Don't worry about money. They work with any budget, any credit, anything like that. They're just all about helping people and getting in IT. And without them, I would not have been able to get into being able to do esports because obviously there's technical side to esports that you if you do events, you need to know how to run certain things. So go check them out, mycomputercareer.edu. Let them know you heard about us through the podcast, this CLT Esports podcast. And also, I'd like to say thanks to Web Real Simple. Zeus and his crew over there did an amazing job with our website. If you haven't been there, it's www.clt-esports.com. They really took our website from being like ugh, to being something that we're proud of, that we literally link on everything. We plug, shameless plug everywhere. But go check them out, webrealsimple.com. Those guys do a great job. Let them know we sent you. Maybe Zeus will give you a discount, but no, great. We just want to thank our sponsors because they're really helping us to get to that level that we need to get at here in Charlotte. So,
If you didn't know, Josh, I was just moving the Web Real Simple and My Computer Career logo all over your face. So.
oh, nice. Oh, and also, I want to give a shout out real quick to Koyobi Gaming. Thank you so much, Yoel, for coming on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
It means a lot to us because we want to involve as many locals as we can in this. Get it to be one. We want this podcast to not just be focused on Charlotte Esports. We want it to be. That's why we didn't name it the Charlotte Esports podcast. We named it Total RNG.
Yeah.
And we want it to be something that everyone can be involved in. So. If you guys want to, if anyone's watching this and feels like they want to, be a part of it, and you're doing something in the esports scene, just email me or CJ. Our contact info is on our website. But yeah, definitely a big shout out to Kobe. They're doing big things. They do weeklies at Hot Shots in Concord. Check them out. You can find them on Facebook. Just type in KOYOBI. They're like the only ones that'll show up with that name. So you click on that, look at their schedule. They have a ton of things going on right now. Super great guys. So, but thanks so much for showing up, man. I appreciate it. This will be.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, this will be one of the more. This is one of the more fun ones I've had because it's nice to see something outside of what we do.
Yeah,
another organizer.
Our last several weeks have been our staff. And then now we're moving to like other gaming organizations in the area. So next is Carolina Games, GG, like Bryson and them, and then Dylan, who owns Strange Gaming here in Charlotte. And then I think from there we're actually going to go to LAN Center, so we're going to start grabbing those guys and see if we can throw them on here. So it's just everybody, and I think that what it does is like it's painting the picture of like what is the Charlotte esports scene look like for everyone's perspective. How do you get involved, and who all the people are. But do you want to do any shout-outs real quick for family, friends, whoever's watching, or anything personal you want to push for Koyobi?
Yeah. So like shout-outs to like all of my team members, Sterling, Taj, Nelson, Angela Peters, and Kenny. We wouldn't have been able to get this far if we all hadn't, been able to come together and really, really do this thing. Shout outs to Michael at Potions and Pixels. Definitely look them up.
Yeah.
Shout outs to there's so many people. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
It's your time, brother. Use it for what you want.
Shout outs to the people at Carolina Games Summit.
Oh yeah.
Shout outs to Samosa's Cakery, Set Play, New Challengers. Reporting from 20XX.
Dude, you got a lot of friends. Oh my gosh.
It basically like all of our supporters. I'm trying to remember them right now. The people at Laser Girl that are still developing that game. The game's super fun. You guys should check it out one day.
Yeah, we saw it a playthrough.
Yeah, it's actually got multiplayer now. It's like super sick.
What?
And shout outs to everybody that tuned into this thing and watched.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. And shout outs to CLT Esports, of course. You guys are awesome. And I hope that we can continue to work together in the future.
Definitely.
You guys are going to be doing it big. You guys are already doing it big, but...
Dude, we got a convention coming up, man. We got to get everybody in the same room together. Run it up.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Oh, and, gosh. XRVR. Sorry, shout outs to them, too.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And Wicked Gaming Reality, or Wicked...
Zeus, that's Web Real Simple. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I realized that while I was saying it. I was like, wait, that's the same thing. All right.
Zeus is the man. We need to actually have Zeus on. There's so many people that you just reminded me we need to contact and get us time slot for him. Oh my gosh.
My bad, guys. I didn't mean
You're
to
fine. No, you're doing your job. You're doing great. I love it.
And Command Post Gaming as well. as well as some of our Koyobi colleagues, because we're actually starting to also expand our team.
Yeah.
Because with all the events that we're doing, we're gonna need more help.
Yeah.
So shout
Dude,
out to all the people there.
dude,
Huh?
Tim was on the second or third podcast we did. We actually did like a CLT invades command post, so we all showed up at command post, and there was like 10 of us, and then we did a podcast actually in their space.
Oh, sick!
I think that's what we might move to, is just doing podcasts like in local LAN centers like this, inviting
You
the
guys
person
should,
out.
man.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could do like a
okay.
live in person one.
That'd be fun.
You could smoke me at Mortal Kombat 11.
I'll do my best. It's not my game, but I'll press some buttons.
I'll push some buttons too.
We'll press buttons together.
All right, thanks guys for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know who you want to see on the podcast. We're gonna stay live for a little bit longer for the stream, but for the YouTube video, peace.
All right, later, guys. Have a good one.